What up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode of Untouchable City Prepper. And roll my window up, try to get rid of this tent. This tent up there. And I'm gonna make this video real short. So a lot of people, right now going through the government layoff because of the government shutdown, and it's kind of hard out here for a lot of people. It's hard for me and my family. I ain't gonna lie. We go through things. But we are trying to keep it together, especially in the African American community, because we have our priorities so backwards. We so busy trying to wear chains and look fresh and ride rims and have the latest car. Sometimes we overlook the basic things, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people right now are just living above their means. I think it's a lot of people in poverty, but I also believe there's a lot of people just like living beyond their means. You know what I'm saying? Like, in layman's terms, you're probably just doing too much. So I got a real close friend. She's been in the banking industry for a long time, and she's with a major banking company. She's with a major bank. Like, this not like no local bank. And she handles about 10,000 accounts or something like that. And she said, Jay, I wanted to let you know that more than 40% of the people accounts that she handled. Now, these are inner city accounts. These aren't like people, out in big suburbs. There's some of them, but like 10,000 accounts that's a lot of accounts, you know what I'm saying? So she said roughly between 30 to 40% of the people that she handled with their account, they don't have more than $2,000 in their account consistently. And I said, damn. And it didn't really dawn on me until I had a family member come up to me and was like, Jay, can I borrow $1,000? And this is a pretty close family member. So, me, I'm like, yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I got you. You know what I'm saying? $1,000, that to some people, they like, man, 1,000 ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? But $1,000, that's like a week pay for a lot of people, man. So I helped her out. But it just dawned on me. Do you have more than $2,000 in your account consistently? You know what I'm saying? Like 2,000 that you just like not touching. Like, it's just there, it's there, you ain't touching it, you ain't moving it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm one of the people where I don't really keep a lot of money in my bank account. You know what I'm saying? I just don't, because I had a situation where I really needed to get some money out and I couldn't get it out because it was a certain amount. And then I was having problems. At that time, the banks was having problems. So I really don't keep that much money in my bank account no more. You know what I'm saying? For that reason, I keep a lot of money, put up. You know what I'm saying? I really don't keep a lot of money in my bank account no more. So most of the time, I keep my money on deck. I think a lot of black people do that too. But I would suggest to have a balance. Majority of the money that comes out of my bank account, that's pretty much going to my bills. A lot of other stuff that I got going on. You know what I'm saying? But most of like my on-hand money, my extra money, I pretty much keep that on deck. You know what I'm saying? But the question is, do you have $1,000 to borrow? You know, that's the thing. Do you got $1,000 to borrow?